Hi, I'm Trevor Rawson, founder of Authentic Life Financial Planning. In this video, we're diving into what is tax planning. Now, you're probably wondering, why does this actually matter? And the reality is that taxes are one of the largest expenses that most Americans have, especially if your income is over $100,000. Your largest expense likely is taxes, whether it's federal, state, local property taxes, FICA. When you total all of that up, that likely is one of your largest expenses that you have each year. And so it's really important that we're making decisions to reduce that tax burden, reduce that expense over time. This is especially true if you have equity, so if you have RSUs or stock options. Taxes are probably one of your biggest expenses, and anything we can do to reduce that expense over your lifetime is going to be the goal, which is exactly what the goal I have when I work with clients. So this chart shows the effective tax rate this client household has over their lifetime. You can see it starts at their age 40 and goes to their late 90s. While they're working, they have Fed, which is the kind of purpley bluish color. They have state, which is the green color, and then they have orange, which is Social Security and Medicare taxes. And eventually that goes away because they're no longer earning income. But they still have state taxes, and once required minimum distributions start, and once Social Security starts for both of them, then they end up paying a huge amount in federal taxes in their retirement years. And so the goal that I have in working with clients when it comes to tax planning is that we're going to try to level out their tax over time. So for these guys, what that likely means is we're going to try to reduce how much taxes they're paying as much as possible between now and retirement. We're actually going to cause some taxes to be owed between when they retire and when required minimum distributions start. And what that will do is it'll allow us to take advantage of some of the lower tax brackets and fill them up so that they're paying less tax in this kind of valley, this tax valley, before they're required to take money out of their IRA, 401k, etc. What that ultimately does is it allows us to reduce the amount of tax that they're paying basically from when they retire until when they pass away. And that's ultimately my goal with tax planning, is to reduce my clients' tax expense over their lifetime. So what does tax planning actually look like? Well, for me, it all starts with a financial plan. If we go back to the previous slide, I want to know what this chart looks like. I want to know what this tax valley looks like and how much room we'll have to fill it up between when the client retires and when RMD, Social Security, any other income will start. I want to know that so we can start planning for that. And so for me, I want to build the financial plan. I want to see what the long term is looking like. The second step for me is that I want to look at the prior year tax returns, and ideally at least the last two, if not longer. That gives me a really good sense as to what has been happening with their taxes over time, and allows me to really make a better tax projection, which is the next step, is that I want to run a projection for what the current year's taxes will look like. And having those previous returns allows me to make the current year projection look even more accurate than it would otherwise. The last step is that once we've built the financial plan, once we've reviewed the prior year tax returns, once we've projected the current year's taxes, we can then start making decisions on, okay, what should we be doing now so that we're accomplishing the goal of reducing the taxes over your lifetime. So that's what my process looks like. Before we so that's what my process looks like. Again, it allows us to get really clear on what your taxes look like today, as well as allow us to make better decisions today so that your current year and long-term taxes are lower than what they would be otherwise. Ultimately, the goal with financial planning in general is to make Ultimately, the goal with financial planning in general is to understand what is going on and what the future may look like so that we can make better decisions and take action on those decisions. And I think tax planning is actually a really great way of showing how that happens. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment below with any questions or topics that you would like to see covered. Financial planning is all about creating the life you want. Let's build it together.